Hi, Gemini. Here we are. We're in Libra season, trying your energy, right? Can we get into it? Breath of fresh air. First air sign, or the next air sign we get, right? Second air sign. First one since spring. We haven't had any air signs, you know. The sun hasn't been in any air signs since the spring, since Gemini season. How refreshing is it, honey? Changes, right? Are you feeling them? This is Sage. So, as I was getting ready to do your reading, some things were coming up for me, songs and things in my head together again. I am not someone that sings that song. I am not someone who would say fan, right? I'm more of a lamb. Hello out there, Lamely. Right? If you know Underneath the Stars, then you really are a lamb. um, or you could just even be listening to the Janet album a lot. Okay? So maybe you do want to reunite with somebody, some of you, or maybe you guys are going to reunite with somebody, surprisingly. It's like a chance outing turns into something, right? Or, I was also getting like Vegas. Maybe some of you are going to Vegas, you know what I mean? Or maybe you might be taking a gamble on something, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, definitely, do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do to rake it up. Okay? Drop it down. Back it up. Buck it up, buck it up, buck it up. You know it's your reading when your card is at the bottom of the reading, at the bottom of the deck, right? Sun and Gemini. Here we go. I'm going to shuffle on camera. Can you hear me okay? All right, it is October 9th. Happy birthday, Stephanie Hyma. She's actually a Libra, not a Gemini, but if she watches all the videos, then maybe she'll see it. Wow. Again, here we go, Sun and Gemini. It's definitely your reading. Are you dealing with children? Are you dealing with some things that are ending in terms of career or how you identify with your career, right? A new perspective on career, changes in your idea of what you thought your career was building up into, right? Or just career changes, new focuses, right? New positions, right? Or something might be justified in terms of career. This is the last one. All right. So yeah, there are some changes that are occurring. This is earth and it's fire, right? So this is taking action and getting involved, right? With enthusiasm and energy and effort, right? For a purpose, right? You actually are determined to achieve something here, right? For sure. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut the deck. Interesting, Gemini. They are going in with this tongue drum. Let me go ahead and turn it down. It was just up so loud because they were doing construction outside. Okay, I think that's better for you guys. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, you got a card that is kind of similar to your energy, and you had something pop out, and it's just laying there right now. And this is Mars in Aries, which is this planet that's in the sign of its rulership, okay? So this is a very dignified card, right? You might be feeling dignified or just in a decision that you may have made that affected someone, right? Because it's talking about you and reflecting on something. And it could be talking about a friend, or it could be talking about someone that you might have been in a relationship with, because it's a 2 and it's an 11, so it's related to the Justice card, kind of, but then it's also related to the High Priestess because it's a 2, you know what I mean? So we're dealing with things being revealed from the actions that you've taken that may have affected someone else, right? And you feel maybe personal growth or individual growth or something, but this talks about plans, making plans with somebody, or you could just be taking a lot of courageous action moving forward, right? Because this is talking about wanting change and doing something to see the change happen, right? Because twos are definitely talking about changes, right? It's the first time that we've actually gotten a chance to look at ourselves and how we relate to something, or how something relates to us. And it could do with travel as well, because it's a two, so it's related to the high priestess, and we're dealing with Jupiter there, right? So there could be some sense of expansion, right? Self-expansion, or a sense of self-growth that you feel, justified in, right? You're determined and you're focused on that. It could have something to do with business, and it could definitely have something to do with your money, right? Or it could have something to do with where you stay, right? Because it is a two, and it's related to the second house, which is Taurus, okay? And then it's related to Aries, not Aries, I don't know what, well, it is, because it's Mars and Aries. So you could be dealing with an Aries, or you could definitely be dealing with an Aquarius or a Pisces, perhaps a Libra, or even a Taurus, okay? But then with the Aquarian sense, we're talking about a change in perspective that leads you to take this action, or maybe the action that you've taken and how you have responded or reacted to it, or how other people have reacted to it, has made them change their perspective, or it's made you change your perspective based on how they responded to you. You know what I mean? Acting or taking the action, whatever this is, you know what I mean? And this is the proof of something, right? Because this card is like Dominion. So it's kind of like you definitely showing through effort and energy and power, okay? So now let's look at the center card. The center card is the King of Pentacles. So this is air, which is talking about the mind and the ideas and the principles, right? This could even be talking about morals and the value of morals, and maybe even ethics or something like that. Something you want something to be morally right, right? Whatever you are trying to build, right? You want something to be honest, okay? Also, he's a little bit of Aries as well, because he's a court card, and all of the court cards are 1/3 of the sign that comes before them, okay? So this is Taurus, fixed earth, and then it's air, right? So it's talking about the mind and perspective. So this is somebody that is mature in what it is that they want, what it is that they're trying to build, what it is that they are trying to show to themselves, right? This is somebody that wants security. So this too, right, which is related to the second house, which is Taurus, is saying that you're taking action, right, and you're making some decisions about things so that you can stand in this energy of being the King of Pentacles, right? Okay. And then what's crossing you, the immediate influence is, the Hanged Man, which is a 3, but it's Pisces, and it's Neptune, which is still referencing the High Priestess, which is number 2. So here we go again with something that's talking about, you might be feeling emotionally secure within something that changes, right? Or with something that is changing. It could be like an environment that you might feel safe in, that you might be escaping to, right? To get away from something, right? Because the 3s do talk about environments that can't be affected in a way that it's going to make anything change, right? Or something not being affected because of the process that is underway. So this is saying there's a process underway here, and you're not allowing yourself to be affected by that, your external influences or those around you, or even the environment that you might be in. You might even be saying, I'm not my environment. You know what I mean? I am different. I am connected to something that makes me special or extraordinary. You know what I mean? I'm getting that from you too. UK, okay? UK. I don't know why I'm saying UK. Maybe some of you guys want to go to the UK, or maybe there's something happening in the UK for you. That would be wonderful. But the Hanged Man is also talking about sacrificing time, right? Because the 3 does refer also later in the major arcana line to the world, right? Which is Saturn. So that's talking about time, and that's waiting, right? And gaining some knowledge, right? Learning some lessons, okay? Right? And not allowing anyone to influence that, right? Because this is an experience that you're having with, like, you know, maybe your subconscious as well, but it's also very obvious to you what is happening, or it's obvious to you that you need to allow this to happen, because the threes are talking about allowing things, right? And this is definitely saying allowing, because it is Pisces, right? And Pisces is a sign, is an energy that, you know, might submit or might allow or might, you know, sacrifice, right? So you are allowing time to pass until you realize what it is in your spirit and in your heart that you want to do about maybe this King of Pentacles character, or about what it is, you know, that you are trying to secure within yourself, right? Because the threes are talking about abundance, and it is talking about fertility. So you might be just kind of like waiting for the right job, waiting for the right position, waiting for the right deal to break or something like that. There might be something in the works. You know, it is saying that there's something to be revealed here, definitely, with this being a 2, right, relating to the High Priestess, and then this being Neptune, which is very confusing sometimes, right? So, you know, there might be some things that you are unable to make out, right, for now. For now. Let's look at your past position. You have the Devil. So this is talking about work, and this is talking about codependency towards work, right? We all need to work. We all need jobs. We all need to, you know, understand what it is that why we do the work that we do. And then this is also talking about unhealthy habits, right? Because it's still a 6, but it's Capricorn. It's talking about daily life. So it's talking about a struggle in the daily life, maybe even, you know, with money or with just like career. You know what I mean? You might just be feeling like very restricted right now in terms of like what it is that you see yourself applying yourself to, right? Because, you know, the Devil is kind of talking about a situation that might be feeling, you know, like it's a burden, but this is kind of like the past, or like, you know, what am I trying to say? Recent past, right? So in the recent past, you might have felt restricted or bound or held back by something in energy that just made you feel like, you know, you may have not been getting anywhere. You might have felt like something was preventing you from getting somewhere, because this is a 6, so it does refer back, you know, being 15, it's a 6. So it refers back to the Lovers, which is Mercury, which is getting around in a lot of places. It's detached, but this is an attachment. You know what I mean? Which is a codependent thing, right? You know, and sometimes you might be all in, right? And that's why it's funny, because I said at the bottom of this, it said Vegas or taking a gamble, and you know, Capricorn does gamble. That rules gambling, right? You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like going all in with something. So maybe you went all in with something, and the immediate influence is the sacrifice of that, right? And now you're just kind of like waiting because there was some action that might have been taken, right? Personal action. Or maybe you were affected by the actions of someone else. Or maybe you took actions in terms of this career thing that you're kind of like dealing with, right? Because the Devil does have to do with the career that you choose to do in the professional side of your life. You know, what are you building? And it's also kind of like, where do you see yourself? What is it of value that you're putting into your daily life that is actually accumulating something? What's being earned here? If you don't feel like a situation, if you're in a situation where you're not earning knowledge, or you're not earning money, or you're not earning anything, and there's nothing of value there, not even a learning experience, then you need to just kind of like not be there. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Or if you don't feel like anything is going to be a learning experience for you, business wise or job wise, or if you feel like you're not going to enjoy it, then doing that thing is really just giving yourself the karma of hating the job. You know what I mean? Or something like that for some of you, or whatever it is that you might be interested in, because the Devil is talking about what you might be interested in that might be unhealthy for you. You know what I mean? Because the 6s are talking about interests, and interests are habitual, right? Because we gravitate towards things that we, are interested in. So that is very high. So that is very, habitual. Okay. And that's a rhythm, you know what I mean? So the rhythm might have been a slower rhythm in the past for you. You're coming out of that. Let's move on. In the Sun position, you have a 5 of Wands, and I knew this card was going to come up for you because I was thinking about it before I did your reading a couple of hours. You're the first one I'm doing today, maybe even the only one. So this is talking about conflict, right? It's the Sun, and I was thinking about it. I was like, it doesn't always have to be conflict with others. It can be conflict within oneself. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like you're applying you're just applying the actions of others perhaps, or you are applying, just the tensions that we feel or that we experience, that we will definitely experience with other people. You might be applying them in a way that is making you feel just confined by it. You know what I mean? You feel like there's not enough space here. Something like that. You feel like you need more space, or maybe some of you guys need more space, right? Because it's a 5, so it's talking about the hierophant, which is the second house, and that talks about controlled environments, right? And when we're in controlled environments, that's like a certain amount of space that we're dealing with. So it could get crowded, right? So you're focusing on the crowdedness of something, right? Everybody's trying to come up, or everybody's trying to grow, or everybody's trying to get something in that they feel like they want to be important. You know what I mean? It's like almost like everybody wants to be important or something like that. And also with this being here, it is competition, and it's competition with oneself. And it's like, how do you compete with yourself? You know what I mean? Are you competing with yourself? It's kind of like taking yourself out of this light that makes you believe, because it's a 5, that you have to beat others, or you have to beat something to feel like you're getting somewhere. Because really, life isn't a competition, it's an experience, right? And the 5s are talking about experiences, because sometimes you don't have to win something. Sometimes you don't feel like you have to come out on top. If you believe you have to come out on top, then what is that actually, the importance of coming out on top? Why is it so important? You know what I mean? And why, because this could even talk about an attachment to something that actually you might need to pull yourself out of, right? Maybe, perhaps, okay? Because it's Saturn in Leo. You know what I mean? And Leo doesn't really like to be restricted. These are rules as well. So this might be like some rules that you might be dealing with, or it might be with like some policies or something like that. It's also related to, the belief in oneself and what you can do. So other people might be trying to get in the way of you doing something, perhaps, and that's not cool, right? And that means that they might even get some karma back for that, because this is talking about karma, right? Because what you do, right? You're going to get karma from what it is that you do. There are consequences, right? Everybody is saying there's consequences for everyone's actions or something like that, Yeah, anyway, let me continue to move on, because if anything else comes up for me with that, then I'll just speak on it. You know what I mean? So, but this is at a point of realizing what it is that you need to do to move out of this energy of feeling the conflict, right? Because you don't have to be in that conflict, right? It is a 5, so it is related to Taurus, right? And Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus isn't really trying to have the conflicts happen, right? Although Taurus does know how to, stick up for themselves. So this is you sticking up for yourself too, in some way, shape, or form. You could be sticking up for yourself with family, right? Or you could be sticking up for yourself or trying to prove yourself to an institution or to a business, or even to like a boss or a mentor, or someone that you feel like you really want to go all in, or take a chance, or gamble on you. Okay. So now let's go ahead and look at this. Wow, let's look at your moon position. This is definitely going to be the only reading I do today. You have the King of Rods, Gemini, so you might be dealing with a Leo, okay? And I'm also getting Aquarius for some reason. But the King of Rods is Leo, and this is also Leo. So it really is, it really is the proof, right? Proof through action, okay? It's saying like you don't have to prove, you just have to be, you know what I mean? And that's great, because Aries does come before Leo, and they do have a lot of planets in common. And Aries is I am, right? So, and Leo is I can, right? And if there was no consciousness of self, then there would be no way that you would be able to do anything. So really focusing on you is what's of uber importance here. You know what I mean? Because this is the King of Rods, the mature fire energy, right, that has matured perspective, right, and has gone through experiences that have gotten him to this point of being at this age. You know, time is very important because time is what seasons us, right? And time is that thing that passes, right? When we have all these moments, right, where we're trying to find out things and find out answers when the answers are actually in the moment that we're in right then and there, right? You need to be downloading, you know, so that you're elevating, right? It's talking about enlightenment too. There's undertones of enlightenment here, right? Because it is air and it is a very mature card. Okay, so the kings have been enlightened to some degree, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to get where they were or where they are. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so for your own enlightenment, you have to understand and believe that you are not this. Okay, because this is air and air rises above. Okay, so now let's look at your anxieties, Gemini. Three of Pentacles. This is talking about doing the work, getting the work, you know, securing the work, right? Because the threes do talk about secure environments, okay? It's related to the Empress, definitely. So you have a need to express what it is that you can do, what you can show, what you can do, the beauty in the work, right? So I'm getting like, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, do it with grace, do it elegantly, and do it with craftsmanship, and do it with skill and understanding, okay? Right? Because there has to be you know, it has to sort of be very cognitive, or to read. You have to be able to appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because you know, if you put a lot of energy and time and effort into something, and when it's presented, if it can't be appreciated, then where did all of that energy, time, and effort go, right? So be very thoughtful within, you know, bringing something into form. You know what I mean? It is talking about doing it slowly, right? And with an acute level of consideration as to what the purpose is, okay? And what you might be committing yourself to. Oh no, I'm gonna stop because I'm like, what am I saying? Let's go to the Mars position. Okay. So you have a 7, so this is related to the Chariot. So it's talking about confidence and moving forward, right? But confidence in moving forward, you know, sometimes if you don't have all of the information, you can't move forward confidently. So it's be asking yourself some questions about something, and it could even be a relationship because of the 7. So it's related to the 7th house, which is Libra, right? And this is cause and effect. This is action reaction. This is black white, yin yang, masculine and feminine. So you have to remember also as well that Libra is a masculine sign that's ruled by a feminine planet, but it is talking about beauty, and it is talking about, you know, maybe we've evolved into this place where we're confused because it's the moon on how we relate to this, or how I am relating to this. What thought patterns am I reflecting on? What decisions am I weighing out too long that I just need to make a decision, right? Because even though there are 7 swords here, there's still 2 that we can actually see that aren't in the shadows. So the 2 is really talking about reflection, and it really is a moon. Libra is my moon sign. All right, we just had a Libra new moon. So what kind of energy did you feel like you were clearing out? You know what I mean? And when you think about where that moon is, take a look at your rising, and then go all the way around and find the house that the moon is in for you, and then you'll get a little bit more, because then you'll know which sign rules that house, okay? So now, the 7 of Swords, moon in Aquarius. You know, the moon is kind of like attached emotionally. Aquarius is detached, right? It really is thinking about the mind. It's processing things. And this is saying that you may not even be able to weigh out your thoughts logically on how you feel. You know what I mean? Because you might be so far detached, right? And that's what the 7s talk about. That's what the 7th house talks about. I can only focus on 1 or 2 things right now. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to put something here and you wait, right? And then get back to it, or something like that. Or maybe I just have to like sacrifice something, because, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the moon is Cancer, and Cancer is the mother, and it is also talking about being emotionally connected to things. And then it's the seventh, so it's the Chariot. You know what I mean? Moving forward. But then Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is actually at its fall in Cancer. So we're dealing with some energy here, which is talking about opposition, and it is talking about tensions and trying to get through these tensions and oppositions gracefully. But it's kind of trying to get through the thought patterns and the communications gracefully. It's awkward conversations, perhaps. You know what I mean? Because that seemed emotionally detached, right? With the seven being here, and it's like here. And it's like the confidence within the awkwardness, right? Right? Or faded confidence, right? Because it's a seven, okay? And that's talking about confidence, right? With the Chariot, moving forward, belief in oneself. But then it's like we can only really see two swords, right? And the other five are faded because of whatever conflict, because that is a five, and the fives are talking about conflict, right? I don't know what to believe, me or you, you know what I mean? Or who to believe, because it's talking about you, you know what I mean? Or who to believe, because it's talking about relationships, and it's talking about friendships. So relationships with friends, right? And how they have evolved has changed. So you're trying to figure some things out, but you're kind of like detached from it because you're trying to gain some perspective, but then at the same time you're having this like evolutionary process, right? And the sevens are saying that you understand, right? You do this one is saying that you do understand that, you know, you are gaining perspective here, and you may not have all of the answers, right? But don't kill yourself with questions, because all you'll be doing is asking yourself questions, right? Anyway, let me move on. Venus position, Aquarius. The star card, right? Your ruling planet Mercury is exalted in Aquarius, okay? The star card is 17, and that's the awareness, the identification, right? The initiation of something, sparking, right? The notification, okay? Inspiration, right? Of self, right? Belief, right? Of you know, conflict within oneself, understanding, being conscious of conflict within oneself, and what you choose to do from acknowledging that, okay? Because Aquarius is the most mature air sign, and their motto, there is I know. So being aware and knowing, right? This is saying like, Aquarius, you definitely need to take a break, maybe, right? Because there's beauty in the meditation, there's beauty in the cleansing for you, right? Because you need to sort of like beautify your mind again, right? You've got to clear things out, right? You've got to try to see where your position is with you, you know what I mean? And not be so concerned, right, with others, right? Because it's an eight. So it's talking about the strength to kind of like definitely believe in oneself. So we're talking about confidence again. So it really is related to confidence, right? And how do you see confidence, right? What does confidence mean to you? Is it forcing confidence, right? Because this is an eight and it's related to the strength card, or is it allowing? Because this is very much allowing, right? And it's Aquarius, which is the 11th house, and that's you know, Libra is actually the Justice card, which is number 11. So there's that 11 again, right? Okay. But it's kind of like Aquarius does relate as well. Okay, so you do have the Aquarius card in the position of Venus, which is a sign, the planet that rules Libra. Okay, so it really is injecting that energy, or it really is juggling with those two ideas or perspectives, right? The insight. So you're gaining insight from yourself, right? But you got to remember that it's you. It's you that you're dealing with right here. You know what I mean? And it's rebalancing your chakras too. So you got to cleanse your chakras. Your chakras might be all blocked up. There's like muck in there. You know what I mean? You got to clear that energy, other people's energy. And you need to take in energy from nature, right? You need to take in energy from sounds and colors and things that are sensational, right? Okay. Yeah, for sure. Water, you need to hear that, right? You need to hear that. Make that a part of your process. Maybe it could be part of your meditation where you meditate or you just exist with the sound of water, right? Sevens are talking about beauty, definitely, for sure. Let's continue. Outcome, energy moving forward. Okay, I'm doing okay. Wow, that's great. You got a 6. This bottom row is very, the bottom row is very Mercury related, right? With this 3 of Pentacles being here, Gemini is the 3rd house. Yeah, I feel not confidence in something. I saw that come true, right? You have to believe in yourself, darling, right? So that's that 3. And then here we go all as well, and that's a Saturn too. So you're learning lessons of confidence. What does that mean though? We don't want to have a false idea of what confidence is. Aquarius, right? Moon, right? There we go with confidence again. Okay. And the 6 of Wands here is talking about moving on, right? And this is also kind of like the growth, self-growth, right? Self-growth that you can actually feel good about, right? It's kind of like the universe giving you back the reciprocity, okay? Because it's Jupiter, and that's very big. That's also, he's the largest planet, and, you know, it rules Sagittarius, which is where, you know, the cosmic center is. What is that? What am I saying? What am I thinking, honey? But that is like at the center of the universe, or the center, yeah, of the Milky Way galaxy, I believe. But, you know, that's just very expansive. It's a sense of expansiveness, right? So the 6 of Wands here is talking about jobs, right? It's talking about work. It's talking about getting back to you, self, right? Because it really is Leo, you know, the pride in oneself. So a growth of confidence, a growth of pride, right? A swell. This is kind of like an upswell, so this is good. And it also is kind of like a new beginning. Your rhythm is being modulated, right? And the 6 is really also talking about, you know, feeling like you're getting back to something that is actually, you know, positive, right? That you can work with, right? Anyway, your future card is a 9, right? So here we go with that movement forward, going inward. You also definitely discovering the answers that you sought, right? You realize that you had to find them within yourself, right? So this is illumination, right? Within your spirit, for sure, okay? And this is wisdom that you have gained. And the Hermit is actually looking towards the, this is how it's laid out, right? Virgo looking towards that Pisces energy, okay? You've done the work, right? You did the sacrificing, and while you were doing this time here, sacrificing, right? You were discovering epiphanies happening, right? Getting somewhere spiritually, getting somewhere within your process that you can value. You have the King of Rods here. Actually, no, we already covered that. Let's continue. But the Hermit is also talking about looking at your habits, right? Looking at the things that you do impulsively, right? Because the Hermit is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is impulsive, right? It's a 9, so it's talking about action related to Sagittarius, right? Control, pulling it in. You know what I mean? Okay, let me try to calm my mind. How I can like soothe, right? Something, you know? Let me soften these edges here. Ascendant card. This is the card at the top of the reading, the energy that you're stepping into. And you do have a bonus card that fell out at the beginning of the reading that I chose not to flip over until the very end. And here's your last card. Good. Ace of Wands, potent energy related to Mercury, related to the Magician, understanding that this is a chance to take action, right? In the moment, be in the moment. This was very much like Taurus, be in the moment, in that moment. So Taurus is just extending that energy through to Gemini, all right? So you guys are still, you're dealing with that, right? And Uranus is actually in your 12th house of blockages, changing stuff, making it confusing for you. You don't realize what's happening. There's shakeups going on. You know what I mean? Right? But this is saying these shakeups are going to bring you, new beginnings, right? So this is kind of like, what are you going to do with these opportunities, right? Because the aces are related to the tens, right? So it's saying like, after the karmic lessons of the struggle, right, and learning to let go, right, being restricted, being forced to get it, now you're at a new beginning again, okay? And you have another chance. Because the tens are related to the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter, and he gives without merit, right? So chance after chance after chance. What are you going to do with this one? And here is your bonus card. Ooh. Okay. 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 Honey, you better do it. You better get the Ace of Wands and then get the Sun. I mean, what do I have to say? You know what I mean? This is good, Gemini. I'm cheering up. And I don't even really know that many of y'all. So good, right? Yes. Okay, so this is a 10, right? 19 reduces to a 10. I was just talking about all that shit with 10. Okay? Ooh, this is amazing, right? Because then this is Jupiter, right? In Leo, right? Jupiter, 10s, Wheel of Fortune, Leo, the Sun. Hermit, 9th house, Sagittarius, right? Virgo is the 6th house. That's a 9 turned upside down. This is a 6 here. Okay? Then we're thinking about the Wheel of Fortune being a 10 and then reverting back to this. This is talking about the self. This is Aries. And it is kind of Jupiter at the same time. Whoa, doing it. And then you real doing it. It's like, yep, seal of approval. Bam, the stamp. Vitality. Rejuvenation. Right? Living. Okay? Gemini, you better fucking do it. Sun, Moon, Rising, or if you have Sun in your 3rd house. Gemini, you fierce. Okay, I'll see you guys later. If you'd like to get a reading with me in New York City in person, you can see me at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery, which is at 230 East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. I'm there from 12 to 5 on Sundays, okay? And also, if you'd like to book a reading with me via video, oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to get a personal reading with me, you can email providencetarotKendrick@gmail.com, and I can send you a private link via YouTube. That way you can watch the video 10 times if you'd like. You know what I mean? To pick up on whatever details you may have knocked the first through the ninth. And then also follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot. And my personal account is NYC Kendrick. And then I am also Kendrick NYC. And food account is the Tongue Pop. Okay? I believe that is it. Like, share, and subscribe for sure. I'll see you guys later. Bye.